Hey friends, it's Maria here for another episode of Calligraphy with Maria Yolis. And so I'm really excited to talk to you all a little bit about faux calligraphy and how you can take your text from this to looking a little bit more like this. It has more shape, and so we'll dive right in. So the first thing is, I'm gonna fix my paper here. So first thing is, you're gonna want your clean slate. I'll be using a Sharpie, but I may just put it aside for this, just so that I can show you all. So I'll be using my pencil, como la flor pencil, and I'm gonna be I'm going to be writing out the word faux calligraphy, and we're gonna be doing this in cursive. So just write out faux. Yeah, I know, it's with an X. Shout out English second language. And calligraphy. So just writing out faux calligraphy here. So now that we have our word faux calligraphy here, what we're going to be talking about is going to be that structure. And if you were with us this previous video, you kind of see that this is already setting the base, kind of honing in again on that structure of the entire word itself is going to be really important. Going back to some of the basics of that diagonal spacing that we've talked about, and just making sure that if you can put a diagonal line through these words like this, it helps with the overall, again, structure of the word and just how it looks overall. So we're just going to go in and hone in on these downstrokes that you're going to be looking at here. These downstrokes are going to be really important when you're creating that faux calligraphy look. And then these upstrokes that are going to be pretty thin that connect the overall letters. So I'm going to switch out from the pencil to this pink Pentel pen. The really cool thing about this Pentel pen actually is that it's one of my favorites, but let me zoom in really quickly so you guys can get a little bit more of a closer view here. As I'm going down, right, there's that downstroke. I'm going to also follow it kind of, but not really, if that makes sense, an imaginary following along. So these downstrokes, I'll push down on the pen, downstroke again, and we got another one. And another one, and I'm just imaginary kind of following through with those lines. But this helps me differentiate the downstrokes using the pink pen simply because of the weight and everything like that. So I'll zoom back out so I can do the rest of the word. So calligraphy, again, seeing those downstrokes that the pink is creating really is already adding some of that really nice structure to the letter already. So we're just doing downstroke. The R's got two downstrokes here, so then I got another one for the A, some two. Coming back up to the letter H, down, 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 curvy, up and over. So again, the downstroke I'm gonna be doing in pink, and just gonna let you all see here with the pencil, right, that the pencil was doing the upstrokes, and you can already see the word, right, kind of come to life. So I'm just gonna be pointing out here with the pencil, just zoom in real quick, just how thin these upstrokes are looking with the pencil in itself. So now I'm just going to do it again. So write out our word here, faux calligraphy. Again, when you write out these words in cursive, the movement again is coming from your wrist. I know my hand barely moves, but again, some people are going to have different techniques, but I thoroughly advise that you do a lot of that movement from the wrist area. So again, just following with these diagonal lines that are coming down here are gonna really guide us throughout the entire process of it, and is again another one of those basics that you can see. So from the pink one, we had that kind of width that was already added because of the thickness of the pen. So here with the pencil, I'm going to create that spacing. So I'm just following again those downstrokes. I'm going to just create a line here. Same with calligraphy, just going over with these lines. And the beauty of creating these lines is that you can choose how thick or thin you're making them. But again, when you're talking about downstrokes, you want to focus on that. And see, I already made this one a little bit too thick, but we'll just go ahead and fix that because we got an eraser. So going down, strokes, down, down, and another down. Usually I like most things thick, like thick oatmeal. But for calligraphy, we're gonna try to keep it as even as possible. And I'm just gonna color these in really quickly. And by really quickly, I mean with this really fast overlay. For my C's, I like to give them a little cap. But I'm just going to continue coloring those in. And that's from the lines that we have created on the overall word here. So now just filling in these lines. And we got it. And it already looks like we used a pen. And by pen, I mean sort of a brush pen. But we actually made this with the pencil. And you can see that it created that really nice thing. So now we're just going to try and practice again. We'll draw some guidelines here. Previously I had used a ruler, but here I'm just going to let my hand navigate it, and I was with some diagonal lines. And so I'm just going to be writing out my name for this one. It's an OKM, but the bigger the letter you can make it, the more space you'll have to really practice on this faux calligraphy that you'll be creating today. So this one's a really large M and an A, so I'm just going to be doing some of the downstrokes on these. And the R here, we had a downstroke earlier, we had 2, but now we'll just have this 1. And here we'll do for the I 1. I forgot the little dot, but here we go. So downstrokes. This is really like comforting when you get it, or when you're practicing, it really helps too. So some more downstrokes, and for the M finally. So now you can kind of see where it's looking like, and I'll just go over these letters one more time as I'm filling in these spaces that I've created. So now I'm going to bring in the Sharpie pen and kind of go over these a little bit more so you can kind of see them. Just tracing over my M and the A here and the rest of the letters that follow. So the letter Y and a dot. You don't have to, but here you can already see kind of the thickness of the marker that it's already bringing. So the way that the tip of the marker works is that you can see here the very, very tip of it versus how the side of it looks like creates these kind of lines. And so if you hold it in an upright position, you already see that this is making kind of some thin lines here versus if we held it the other way. So this is thin lines if we hold it upright, right? Versus if I hold it in a 45-degree angle or, just sideways, because I don't know how to math. So here we have the side of the marker creates more of these thick lines, which is what we did earlier up here with our word or my name. So again, faux calligraphy really focuses on these thin lines to draw them out to create these thicker ones, as opposed to using a marker to already create thick lines for that. So I'm gonna just do another example here real quick of faux calligraphy with my name, but maybe this time using this very thin lines as opposed to holding the marker sideways. So I'm just going to keep using the Sharpie here, and now I'm just going to hold it in a very much more upright position. So upwards is going to be thin line, and then the thick ones I'll try to make these a downstroke. So here so like with the marker, it helps with the weight and the transition of it. And here on our other example, we're just going to be doing those very thin strokes, and I'm going to be holding the marker in a very upright position to just write out my name again. in cursive, just so you all can kind of see, versus if I had held it on a very diagonal side. So with this one, I'm just going to keep it held upright and just go over some of these words, creating those lines again that I can fill in. So with the marker, because it's obviously a lot thicker than the pencil, even the down strokes, with me holding it right up, right, are still going to be pretty thick as opposed to me holding it on the other side. So I'm just going to continue to fill in some of these letters. And this is kind of what it looks like. Now, when you start transitioning over to a marker and just different markers that you may have, it may start to look a lot different. So here I'm just going to continue writing my name in cursive and just following those downstrokes, making them a lot more thicker and darker, so it really brings out that calligraphy look and feel for some of our words that we're going to be practicing with. So this is my name again, and this time I'll hold it sideways so you can kind of see how you can create these calligraphy looks with it sideways. Something to remember about this though is just the type of pressure that you're putting on the marker onto the paper will create the that thickness of it and how you're utilizing those brush strokes in different ways. So I'm just gonna put the Sharpie back and do one last final example of faux calligraphy, and I'll call in one of my favorite pens, the Pilot G2, and this one is in a 0.38. What's really important about having it in 0.38 for me is just it's really thin, right? So here we're going to, let's do Oak Cliff. We'll do Oak Cliff as one of our examples. So again, I'm just gonna write Oak Cliff in cursive, trying to leave as much space as I can for the lines that I'm gonna be bringing in here pretty soon. So there we got Oak Cliff. If that's your hood, put a thumbs up in the comment section. So we're gonna be doing some downstrokes. I'm gonna follow it here with the pen. You're already kind of seeing the that structure coming up about it. And here I kind of made the line a little too close, but that's okay because we're gonna fill these in later anyway. So if it's too close to the edges of it, have no fear. You can, you'll go back and you'll fill them in anyway. So I'm just gonna continue to finish here on the cliff. And sometimes I think it looks really good with just the outline in itself. So if you know the hit song, you can already spell it OAKCLIFF. So I'm just filling in some of those lines that I created already with these downstrokes. So just filling those in as we go. It'll make it's already kind of making it pop up really nicely. And this is what I really like about, doing it. The faux calligraphy sometimes looks really nice. So here you can see it, and I'm going to do another one just to kind of show you that other style that I was talking about, because like I said, it looks really nice sometimes, even if you don't fill them in, and it makes that variation to your styles even bigger. So I'm gonna call in another one of my favorite pens, and this one is a zebra pen, and it's a 0.3, so this is even thinner than the one we previously used. And I'm gonna be following those downstrokes again, making those lines here, real thin lines with this one, and it looks really nice already. I kind of like this style sometimes, but like I said, it just plays up to that variety that you'll create as you continue learning through this lettering journey, which I myself am taking. So if you're a newbie, same. So see, look, it looks really nice just with it traced over. It kind of gives it this really nice ribbon effect that I really like. And if you have followed many other lettering pages, they do it. As opposed to kind of filled in, it has a little bit more of that calligraphy feel. So let me know what you all think. Keep practicing. And I look forward to seeing you in our next episode where we'll talk about brush pens and all of that good stuff. So faux calligraphy and anything else that we'll be practicing. So here are just some examples. Continue to practice those diagonals so that your overall structure looks really nice, and looking forward to seeing you all again pretty soon.